going to chew that gum the entire time?
No, I got to take it out. I just realized that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dominic Damore, and thank you for tuning in to the second best thing you were here all week. We have a great show for you that includes top-notch film reviews, the latest movie news, and assorted thoughts and opinions, ranging from insightful to downright obnoxious. This is the I've Had Better Movies podcast. Let's kick it off. James, what do you have for the fans this week?
My name is James Langos, and welcome to the show. Each week, Dom and I will give you, the fans, a review of a film currently in theaters, and in the rare occurrence we can't attend the theaters, we will give you something from just our memory.
Our vast movie libraries. We still rock DVDs, kids.
Some VHS.
Dude,
if you even know what those are.
I still have a couple of the old school Disney ones, like the plastic, like big ass white ones.
Yeah, I've got some of those.
Yeah. Like 5 years from now, they could be worth some money.
I don't think so.
We're talking original Star Wars VHS we looked up with Matt. That was what, like $9?
Yeah, that's it. Probably paid more than that when you actually bought it brand new.
Oh, yeah.
And this week's review is going to be London Has Fallen.
Nice.
The Gerard Butler action
sequel
from Olympus Has Fallen was the first one.
Yep, 3 years ago. So this movie was kind of exactly what you expect out of a movie called London Has Fallen that follows up a movie that says Olympus Has Fallen. Just to start off with, I absolutely loved Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because at that time you hadn't seen Gerard Butler in anything good in a fairly long time. And
since 300, probably.
Pretty much. I mean, in all honesty, The Ugly Truth with Katherine Heigl.
Action movie.
Oh, okay. Action movie. But I'm just saying, if you haven't seen The Ugly Truth, Katherine Heigl is an awful actress. She's not horrible in this movie, but Gerard Butler jumps off the screen.
Yeah. What was the other one? P.S. I Love You that he was in.
Yeah, he's that. Well, spoilers, he's dead in it.
He's in it.
Yeah. No zombies. He's just wife who's still around and trying to get her through a mourning period.
Writing her letters and...
Which, to me, doesn't sound like a smart idea to drag something out over a year and a half period, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm just going to let that go.
So, back to London Has Fallen. So I really loved Olympus Has Fallen, so I was actually excited for this one. The first one was that perfect level of semi-stupid action level where it's like, oh, I don't really care about the storyline or plot of this movie. I just know stuff's going to get blown up and Gerard Butler is going to say some cool, corny, funny lines.
Yeah, he's basically going to be a badass.
Exactly. So then on top of that, it came out the same year that White House Down came out. So it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, wow. So White House Down was god-awful. This was better. This movie just took like 3 steps up in my head because it's like, oh, it's not Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum.
Yeah, I mean, what were they thinking trying to come out with 2 Saving the President movies?
It happens a lot, though. Like, think about it. Like, Armageddon and Deep Impact came out the same year.
Which one does everyone remember, though?
That's a solid point.
Armageddon.
Yeah, but Deep Impact got better critical reviews. That means anything.
Armageddon's got the rewatchability.
It really does.
It could be on any point on TV, and you'll sit and watch the rest of it.
Yeah. That Ben Affleck, Bruce Willis scene at the end, every time.
It's a tearjerker.
Right in the feels. Usually, completely different reason than I'm usually crying at Michael Bay movies. When it came to Olympus Has Fallen, I was excited. And then the first 40 minutes of this movie happened.
See, that's where I'm going to disagree with you. I understand that movies have to get some sort of build up to give the story. This one did last a little long, but they had to set some sort of groundwork instead of it can't just start with them blowing up shit.
No, and that's not what I'm saying. But it's okay. Just for spoilers, this is going to be probably spoiler filled because Jim and I have a lot to say about this movie. But it starts off with the Prime Minister of England dying, and they decide, okay, we're going to have this funeral, and it has to be rather quickly, so all the heads of states of major countries decide, okay, we're going to the funeral. Which instantly is one of those things where it's like, we might want to wait for the biopsy or the
autopsy.
The autopsy to come back before we invite the major powers in the country. But no, it happens to come out 4 hours after this attack happens. So, right there, there's just way too many coincidences / any legitimate intelligence agent would be like, no, this is a trap, right? Like, there is zero chance that nobody's going to die on this trip.
Yeah, but then you don't have a movie.
You absolutely could. No, here's what you do. You have him die. You have him die from something other than poisoning, because there's a lot of things that happen. Dick Cheney shot a man in the face. You could have went something like that. You just planned it. The president's wife in the first movie hit an icy patch of road and fell off a cliff. It could happen. That would have been a better setup than he was poisoned and nobody bothered to check if he was poisoned. Okay, so right there's that. And then the U.S. is prepared enough. I don't really have a problem with that. But then you got all the other delegates who show up. Like the Japanese prime minister in a single car driving in the middle of a bridge stuck in traffic, who then gets assassinated because a car pulls up next to him and blows up.
I think they had budget cuts. They had to cut out half the Japanese scenes.
And that makes sense. But take some of the money that they spent on the awful CGI. Like, kids, we're talking about stuff that I could have shot on my cell phone. I literally downloaded an app like 5 years ago just because I like movies and I like taking pictures of people and making them blow up. My psychologist says a lot of things. But it looked exactly like I shot it on my iPhone. It was so bad.
They had one overview of London where they were kind of like a helicopter was filming above it, and that was normal. And then they added this smoke and flames and fire and to all these buildings, and it just looked terrible. It looked like they just pasted over it in paint. And they had this water from one of the rivers that was going back and forth, like left to right, not even in any sort of aquatic rhythm.
Yeah, it was so bad. But so there's that. So, and then you have another prime minister, the French prime minister, showing up on a boat, like with zero protection. Then you get the Canadian
Italian.
Yeah, the Italian
was on top of one of the cathedrals.
Yeah, which, I mean, that one, not horrible, because it's like, okay, it makes sense that he would be up there. I don't have a huge issue with that. But then the Canadian prime minister, what was that with him?
Was he just driving in a car?
I think he was just driving in a car. His car might have just gotten blown up. So, either way, it still sucked.
Yeah, it was so uneventful, we don't remember.
Yeah. So that was bad. The worst thing, though, was the acting performance of Angela Bassett. I love Angela Bassett. I think she's a tremendous actress. I have seen her work in a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows. She's in that American Horror Story. She does a great job on that. She's this strong, independent woman who doesn't take any shit from anybody else. And I saw an interview of her the day before I went and saw this movie where she's like, oh, I took the role because how often do you get to see a strong female as the head of the Secret Service? Like, that doesn't happen. Like, so I took that role to show people, like, yeah, a woman can do this job. And then the movie comes around and she is instantly cowering behind cars, ducking, crying, screaming. You tell me the head of the Secret Service has no military or police enforcement training at all?
Yeah, it just didn't seem right, and it didn't flow properly.
Yeah, and the biggest problem is we're in this Renaissance age where the strong female character is more relevant than it's ever been. We have Star Wars female lead character who dominates.
Who doesn't have any action figures for some weird reason.
I think they retrofitted that now, but yeah,
did they?
It's super weird. Yeah, like the Monopoly didn't have
Even just like the little action figures that my nephew has. She wasn't in them.
Yeah. So you have her. Then you have Rebecca Ferguson, who was a major part of Mission Impossible last year.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, people walked out of that theater being like, this is going to be the next girl. She was the standout of that movie, of a great movie, not just some weak movie. It was a great movie, and she was the standout. It constantly is going over and over where we had these strong female roles coming up in Hollywood, which we need even more of. And here's another example where we have a position. I don't need a lot from her. I don't need her to be the true hero, but if she's in that situation, she better have a gun. She better be shooting at somebody instead of cowering behind somebody. So that was my biggest issue with the film.
Yep.
But with that being said, I actually like the movie.
Yeah.
Because the last 40 minutes of this film are kick-ass.
It was perfect because it wasn't too long, and after all the boring bullshit was out of the way, it was just Gerard Butler making funny jokes and killing people. And who doesn't like that?
Like, there was great chemistry between Aaron Eckhart and Gerard Butler after that first 40 minutes. Because the first 40 minutes, the dialogue feels rough and like, it's like, oh, why did he say that? And then after that, when the like real action starts, where it's a little bit nitty grittier, where it takes place in like a house and stuff like that, and they didn't try to go too big, the dialogue works. Like the cheesy lines, they stop being cheesy and they just start to be really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it was honestly like watching two different films, or a film done by two different directors.
Yeah.
So overall, I really liked it.
Well, the director's pretty. I can't remember his name right now, but he was pretty new.
Yeah, he
hasn't done too much.
He
for a couple TV shows and maybe one or two movies.
Yeah. What is it? Banshee or whatever the Cinemax action TV show is. I think it's Banshee.
Yeah.
But he had done some directing on that show. So maybe he just wasn't ready for a big budget film. He did well for the most part. It's just that first 40 minutes is real rough.
Yeah.
So on to our rating system. James, want to explain the rating system a little bit?
Our rating system is on a scale from 1 to Good Will Hunting. And Good Will Hunting is the
pinnacle of film achievement.
Thank you. Just took the words right out of my mouth. The pinnacle of film achievement, and because it's got everything you need in a film and everything it should have. But for this film, I'm going to...
Don't forget to shout out Steve, because as we've already heard, he gets a little salty at the fact we don't mention him for this.
It's not going to be every time. He's got to get over it. Yeah, my brother actually came up with this, but he's already got one shout out. He doesn't need it anymore. So my scale, or not my scale, our scale. My brother's included for this. But for this film, I'm going to go with a solid 7.
7?
Yeah.
That's a solid score, especially on your scale. Because you have that little bit of like a lower rating. Like
I think I knew what it was going to be like. I wasn't expecting a lot from the actual plot. I knew there was going to be plot holes all over the place. And I knew there was going to be some shitty writing.
Exactly. And that's the great thing about film. It's subjective. You don't have to see it the same way I do. If you go into, like, you could see a bad movie, but if you're in the right mood that day, or that movie just reminds you of something, it can be much better in your head than it is in mine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
With that being said, I'm actually not that far off from you.
Nice.
Yeah. I gave this film a 6.5. After a decent amount of consideration, I actually had to go back and edit a story/review that we did last week for 999, because this movie is much better than 999. So as a result, last week I gave the film 999 a 6.5. That has been bumped down to an even 6. And this movie, London Has Fallen, is a 6.5.
That's saying something, because 999 had a lot better plot and writing.
Yeah, no, the story was significantly better, but London Has Fallen was much more enjoyable.
I agree.
Like, this was a hour and 40-minute movie where you're like, you know what? It ended perfectly. I wasn't bored throughout. There wasn't like a slow point that I was really worried about. Whereas in 999, there was a lot of slow points.
Yeah. I mean, what was the time difference? Like 20 minutes between the two films?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Not much, and I was not like bored not once during London Has Fallen.
Oh, yeah. So those are our reviews. If you saw the movie, or if you wanted to read my entire review, you can go to www.ihbpodcast.com and read my full review. Or, like I said, if you saw the movie, feel free to contact one of us on Twitter or send a tweet to @IHBpodcast and let us know what you thought.
In addition to film reviews, Dom and myself like to give you the fans, some news, some top news that's going around in the film industry. And Dom, what do we have this week?
2014 was a tumultuous year for Sony in the film production department. While not only having a blockbuster film like The Amazing Spider-Man 2 globally panned by critics and audiences alike, they were also struck with a massive computer hack which delivered some of the dark secrets the studio had been planning. One such leak had rumors of a potential Men in Black / 21 Jump Street crossover. Well, it appears those rumors are true, as James Bobbin is currently in talks to direct the studio, and the studio is eyeing a June production date. James, what are your thoughts on the potential crossover?
I think it's an aggressive crossover. I don't know if I'm that interested in it, to be honest.
In addition, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, at this point, are not expected to return.
Yeah, I didn't think they would. I mean, I don't think Will Smith likes doing sequels to begin with, let alone this crazy crossover that they got going on. But I'm sure they can find someone that'll, fill the roles of whoever he's going to be in Men in Black. But it just seems just out of left field. It's like, whose idea was this?
I mean, I'm curious how much Lord and Miller, they're two guys who directed the first two 21, 22 Jump Street, or I know they at least did the second one. They are now doing the Han Solo movie, and they're a little bit of they're super creative guys. So I'm curious how much involvement they had in this idea to begin with. But I'm actually kind of interested. But it's one of those weird things to where I don't want them to focus too much on 21 Jump Street.
So you just want a Men in Black film with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Essentially, but listen, it's like this. It's essentially a Men in Black reboot with characters we already have. So I don't want Ice Cube in this movie. I don't want him to now be the head of the Men in Black. So essentially, I want it to be like the first movie where both Tatum and what's his name? Jonah Hill get recruited to join this organization, and they go through kind of like Will Smith did a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more slapstick, obviously, because that's the comedic style of those two. But I think it could be good. I think depending on who you build the cast around them, you give Channing Tatum a love interest this time, because in both the first two films it was Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
So, and it was funny because it's like, oh, Jonah Hill is supposed to play the geeky, fat, unathletic one. So yeah, of course he's getting the girl. Third time in a row, I'm not sure I can. All right, I get it. Jonah Hill gets laid. Come on, Channing Tatum.
He's beautiful.
Exactly. So I'm actually kind of excited for it. I think it could work. Enough star power in it. It's all going to come down to the script and all that stuff. And the director, James Bobbin. Yeah,
Muppets Most Wanted.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff either. He did both of the Muppets movie. I know Muppets Most Wanted didn't do horribly, and the critics didn't hate it, but the critics hated the first Muppets movie. And then he's done some stuff for Flight of the Conchord, which is, I'm not personally a fan. I don't enjoy that type of humor. So he makes me a little apprehensive about the movie. Like, I don't think he's a great addition to it. He might take it a little bit too over the top from what I'm expecting. But I'll keep my fingers crossed. It's also one of those things where, like, a June production is interesting, considering I don't know what Channing Tatum has on the schedule. And that, like we talked...
For which year?
No, it's supposed to start June this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like we talked about last week with the Gambit story for Channing Tatum, that puts this into one of those things where it's like, okay, if he's shooting this movie now, that means Gambit is really getting pushed back.
Yeah.
As far as Jonah Hill, I don't give a shit. He can get all of his projects pushed back.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you. I'd rather just see a Men in Black reboot than...
Like straight up?
Straight up. Just all new characters. I mean, they could even do the same type of storyline that they did with Will Smith and just use Channing Tatum if you want. I mean, just have him be himself or just a new character. But combining the two, I think, is a terrible idea. Yeah,
I get that. It's one of those unfortunate trends in Hollywood. Everybody's looking for the crossover. Like, as soon as Marvel came in...
Freaking Marvel.
Yeah.
Ruined it for everyone.
There are rumors of a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. Like,
there's already G.I. Joes in Transformers, isn't there? Like,
there are army people.
Yeah, you could call them G.I. Joe people.
You could, but I mean, the G.I.
Joes
are a little bit more over the top. I mean,
Delta Force.
Yeah, in G.I. Joe, you got The Rock lifting up like an engine block and using it as a gun.
Fair enough.
All right, on to our next topic.
Continuing the theme of Sony email leaks, The Hollywood Reporter has said that Sony does indeed have plans to create a film focusing on the Spider-Man supervillain Venom, with Dante Harper, the writer behind Edge of Tomorrow, to pen the script. Fans first saw the character on the silver screen in Spider-Man 3, played by Topher Grace, but reports as of now say any standalone film would not involve the actor and would be a brand new story. Dom, given Sony's history with the character, should we look forward to Venom's standalone film?
Probably. It's one of those things where Sony's looking for a new franchise. They still have Spider-Man, but it's a little shaky. And
yeah, I mean, they're rebooting it already.
They are.
A little soon.
It is, but they're going to get that boost from Marvel because Spider-Man's going to be in the upcoming Civil War movie. And Marvel is taking over some creative, I wouldn't say control, but they're consulting basically, and they're going to shoot down hopefully a whole lot of Sony's stupid ideas. But it's also one of those things where I'm curious where they're going to go, because Venom is such a legendary villain in the Spider-Man universe. Like, he's right up there with the Green Goblin and things like that. Like, a lot of people, especially the kids of my generation, like, you think Spider-Man or you think like badass Spider-Man, you see that black suited symbiote Spider-Man. So I am curious how they're going to do it, because nowadays the character is an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
He works for S.H.I.E.L.D. He takes on missions of that type where it's like
a Suicide Squad type.
Kind of, yeah, but honestly a little bit more trustworthy, I guess you could say, or like not so evil.
A little more controllable.
Exactly, because here's the thing about Venom for those of you who are not aware. I'm getting that t-shirt made. It is now my catchphrase. For those of you who are not aware, Venom is a symbiote. He's a alien species that needs a host to live, so it latches on to whoever it's around. That's why it latched on to Spider-Man in the movie and in the comics. And in the current iteration, when he's a anti-hero, he's attached to a man named Flash Gordon, which, if you saw the first Spider-Man, Joe Manganiello's character, the jock who punches the locker when Peter Parker first realizes he has powers and gets into that fight, the man who is slaying Mary Jane on the weekends.
Yep.
Yeah, so he is a good guy. The symbiote's a bad guy, so it's a conflicting head kind of thing. Like, symbiote wants to do one thing, he wants to do another. Most of the time they end up on Flash Gordon's side. Flash Gordon? Flash Thompson. Pretty sure it's Flash Thompson. I was like, Flash Gordon is a movie / 1970s character. Okay, Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
my bad.
You watched Ted.
I did.
Didn't you?
Recently, yeah. I think it was on USA. But, so, I am curious how it's going to work out. I personally would want to have Venom get his true villain experience first, because Spider-Man 3 was weak. Topher Grace was a weak insert for that. Sam Raimi didn't get to do what he wanted with the character, so it was not a good movie. What are your thoughts?
Well, being someone that doesn't really know anything about Venom, except for what I saw in Spider-Man 3, anything can be better than that. So that's all I really got. I don't have much input on that.
But do you want to get back into Spider-Man's world?
Yeah, Spider-Man was awesome. The first two films with what's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire were awesome. Mm-hmm. I love those movies. Third one sucked. The reboot was still entertaining, but it felt kind of like they were trying to one up Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And that just didn't time well.
The way I always put it is the Amazing Spider-Man series, which is the Andrew Garfield version. His Spider-Man was really good. I hated his Peter Parker. His Peter Parker was too cool. Peter Parker is supposed to be a little bit nerdy and like a kind of a geek and an outsider. And you see Andrew Garfield in that movie. It's like, oh no, I totally want to be that guy's friend. Like, it's like 21 Jump Street. Do you know where like they go back to high school and it's like, wait a second, the hippies and the environmental kids and the ones who get good grades, they're the popular ones? That's what Andrew Garfield is in that movie. Yeah. Like, so that never fit with me. I also hated the dialogue between him and Emma Stone, but that's a personal problem.
That's just because you want to be with Emma Stone.
Kind of. I'm just saying, we talk about a lot more stuff than like, oh, shoes, right? Yeah, totally. You know, I should go. You should go. I should go, right? Oh, we're both gonna go. That's like actual dialogue in the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. But that's enough about Venom. On to the next topic. While fans are ecstatic over the Batman v Superman trailers and sneak peeks we have seen so far, some are wondering, where is Commissioner Gordon? A key character in the Batman universe was last seen on the big screen portrayed by Gary Oldman in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, and it appears the grizzled Gotham cop will not be in the Batman vs. Superman film coming out in March. However, fans don't have to worry, as Variety has reported that Oscar-winning actor J.K. Simmons has signed on to play the Commissioner in the upcoming Justice League film. James, what does this casting mean for you as the DC movie universe begins to take shape?
I am super excited. I love J.K. Simmons. I think he's a tremendous actor. And he was the journalist in Spider-Man.
Yeah,
with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, he played.
I can't remember he was the editor or something.
He played J. Jonah Jameson, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet.
Yeah, he was
not Daily Planet, the Daily Bugle.
He was awesome in that movie.
Yeah,
and he was in the second one too.
He was in all three.
Okay, yeah. Of course, I don't remember the third one very well because it sucked.
Yeah, but in fact, there's a petition online that for the reboot, if they ever get to the point where they have to have that character back, because he's a big character in the Spider-Man universe, that they want J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons back, because he played it perfectly.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was entertaining. He was funny. And for him to play Commissioner Gordon is perfect, because I think he fits that role. I'm probably going to still see Gary Oldman at first in that role, because that's who I imagine as it.
Also, Gary Oldman did fit, like, he looked a whole lot like the comic book character.
Yeah. Gary Oldman's another great actor. I mean, it's hard to pick and choose between the two of them, but J.K. Simmons, I think, is going to do a great job with it.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset though that he's not going to be in the Batman vs Superman.
I feel like this movie is just going to be so action packed because they have to introduce so many people. You have to reintroduce Batman. You have to introduce a brand new Alfred, who you're probably going to have to give some sort of backstory to. You're going to have to introduce Wonder Woman in some way. There's supposed
Spider-Man.
to be... Yeah. Oh, no. That is DC. You
Sorry.
son of a bitch.
I ruined that whole thing.
You really did.
Have to start it all over.
I'm not, because we're going to have a talk after this, a stern talk about you never mixing up Marvel and DC characters again. Back to my point. There's going to be cameos reported from Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Some people are saying Ezra Miller is going to pop up as the Flash, but that hasn't been confirmed, and it's really just a rumor. So you also have to introduce new villains. You have to introduce Lex Luthor. So it's a little action-packed. I can get why they cut out Commissioner Gordon, because at least half of the movie takes place in Metropolis. Gordon's a Gotham guy. But I'm apprehensive, but excited, if that's a thing.
Sure.
First off, I really hope they don't put a wig on this guy.
He had a wig in Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he looked like a comic book character come to life. Like it was not as nitty gritty as I was expecting. Like
Is the Justice League going to be a dark film?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't put hair on him.
Exactly. The other thing I'm worried about, we saw Terminator Genesis together, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him in Terminator Genesis?
Maybe.
I don't blame you for not remembering him, because that movie was awful and he had a small part. He plays the cop in the scene where they're back in time and they save Kyle Reese the first time, and there's two cops in the department store.
He's one of the cops?
There's a younger version of him. The cop who lives. And then when they fast forward to 2015 or 2016, whatever, he is a detective now they all call crazy. He's the one who turns on
I gotcha. They talk to him in the hospital.
Yeah, he turns on the CT machine and saves them.
Yeah, I remember now.
He plays a grizzled detective who's a little loopy, little not respected. And I'm afraid he's going to do some of those same characteristics. Not that he's not going to be respected, because I guarantee he is, but a little bit over the top, because he can be a bit over the top. So I'm a little worried about it.
I loved him in Juno. I didn't think he was over the top.
Well, it also helps. He plays the same character in every movie. He plays the same character tremendously in every movie, but he plays the same character.
No, he was different in, what's that drum movie with...
Oh, you mean
the
one where he made sarcastic comments to everybody, but just yelled a little bit more?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Essentially, he played J. Jonah Jameson, but was allowed to swear.
Yeah, that's
and
not the same
could
character.
Possibly beat you up.
Not the same character.
Yeah, so we'll see. He's a great actor. I really like him. He's going to be a good addition. I know he's going to do a good job. It's just DC's on this edge where everybody's like, you're either going to love their stuff or you're going to hate it. And there is literally already hate on the internet for Batman v Superman, and it hasn't even come out. People are already like, oh, this movie sucks. It's not going to be any good.
That's just people on the internet.
It really is, but
it's like your drunk friend talking at a bar that, thinks they're invincible.
Yeah.
That's everyone on the internet.
Yeah, well, every once in a while, your drunk friend puts their fist through a window and you end up going to jail. That could happen in this film. I could go to jail.
Don't put your fist through a window.
All right, on to our next topic.
We have finally received our first trailer for the rebooted Ghostbusters film, set to hit theaters this summer. Instead of a straight line sequels to the 1980s classic, fans will see an all-female cast starring Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones, helmed by popular director Paul Feig. Dom, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, it was so underwhelming. There's a lot of it's I don't know what the numbers are on YouTube now, but last I heard, the amount of likes to dislikes on the video were insane. Something you never see from movies. Even bad movies don't get. It was something like 46,000 people clicked that thumbs up, and something like 64,000 click thumbs down.
Do you think it's just because it's a female cast?
I guarantee,
because they're trying to reboot the film?
There is a large portion of the population who's online because they're all 27-year-old men sitting in their basements like, oh no.
Take it easy, man. That could be us one day.
I don't spend a whole lot of time in my basement, and I'm currently living out of
That's
my
so much better.
house.
We are on the second floor.
We rise above. We rise above. But I guarantee there's a lot of hate coming because of that, and because it's a beloved.
I've got the numbers from YouTube. So we have 20 million views, 169,000 likes, and 357,000 dislikes.
That is almost a 4-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
That's insane for a movie that like the trailer is not good, and that's the majority of it because there's 100 people see this video. There's gonna be a portion who say this movie has women as the leads. Screw it, I hit dislike. Then there's everybody else. The problem is when you combine the fact that the trailer is not very good, that number starts to grow. And then you get the weirdos coming out of nowhere where it's like, oh, it's bad because it's got women. And then it starts a snowball effect where people are just like, hey, I'm clicking dislike too because everybody else is.
Yeah, they should have taken more time with the trailer, and they should have done a better job with it. If they would have done a better job, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, because what they do is they start out saying like, oh, 30 years ago, the first Ghostbusters had this idea. But it's a separate movie like that. Like, so technically, the original Ghostbusters never happened in this universe. So why they're even bringing that up in the trailer, I don't really understand.
Unless they're going to do it later in the film and they're just not telling you. I doubt it, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, but I feel like, I doubt it too. Like, it's a possibility, but it's one of those things where the marketing would be so much better if they just came right out with it.
And said some of the old cast was going to do it, or have a cameo in it, or some sort.
Some of the old cast does have cameos, but they're supposed to be their characters' parts. Like,
they're just going to be in
the... Yeah, like Bill Murray could be a hot dog vendor. Yeah. So...
Very exciting.
Nothing was really funny in the trailer. Like everything, like, oh, Kristen Wiig just got slimed. Like, all right, I'm pretty sure that happened in the first one, so we're just doing like a shot for shot thing, so that was rough. And then I didn't even laugh.
Yeah, it was not funny.
Yeah, and this is something. Let me know your thoughts on this. Melissa McCarthy, little bit of a golden child kind of right now in Hollywood. Her movies make bank. People go to see them. Everybody thinks she's funny. But it's usually been in an R-rated role.
Yeah. And she plays the same character.
She does.
In every film.
Yeah, no, she's
worse than J.K. Simmons.
Oh yeah, she's worse. Like she does the same like physical comedy. She does the same like kind of joke line.
Like I tripped and fell.
Exactly. And then where like she goes to make fun of somebody and then like it's one of those things where she just starts spouting out things like, oh, you little effing this with your tiny, tiny girl balls. Like,
yeah.
It, like I saw Spy. And in the first, you didn't like it?
I didn't see it.
Well, reserve judgment, James.
No. I know when to go see a movie, when not to go see a movie.
Because it wasn't bad.
I'm going to disagree.
I actually fairly enjoyed it. But it was kind of like London Has Fallen, where the first 40 minutes I was like, okay, this is not very good. And then there's a switch that goes on the character to where like she was this kind of like fish out of water type deal for the first 40 minutes where she's not confident. And then she flips a switch and all of a sudden she turns into the Melissa McCarthy we always see, where it's like, oh, you, and spouting all the insults and starts swearing, and it picks up. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying you have to have swearing in a movie to be good, but I think Melissa McCarthy might have to have swearing in a movie to be good.
I agree.
So, do you have a highlight or a low light that you remember from the trailer?
No, that's the problem. I don't remember anything from the trailer. I watched it and nothing popped out. I mean, it was cool seeing the characters back, or not the same characters, but the Ghostbuster idea. But nothing jumped out at me. Nothing was funny.
Yeah,
I just like watched another YouTube clip.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all it was.
Couldn't agree more. Like, And this is a movie that, like, because it had what's going against it, because it's women, as stupid as it is, it kind of had to hit on the first one. So now it's going to be interesting how it goes forward. And you wonder if they're going to, like, course correct on the next one and, like, try to...
They're going to have to. They're going to, for sure.
The problem is, like, in comedy, if you try to course correct, it's like, okay, we need to make this funnier. You don't want them to put all the good jokes in the trailer.
Yeah, they got to be careful with it, because if they give too many good jokes away, like Bad Grandpa.
Yeah.
Trailer looked awesome. It looked like a great movie, but there was nothing new in the movie. And that's why it sucked.
Yeah. So, going forward, I expected more. I had high hopes for the movie. It's something that I wanted to see when it was announced. I was like, this is awesome. You got a great lineup of women. I actually hated Kate McKinnon back then. I didn't think she was very funny, but she's been killing it on NSNL. Like, every one of her sketches, I'm dying at.
Yeah, she's doing a lot better. And her Ellen impression is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So I'll see it going forward at least.
We'll definitely check out the film for sure.
Yeah, but this first trailer did it no favors.
No. Next up, we have the box office battle.
If I keep losing, I'm going to have to take out some of those exclamation points.
I know. They're not there. It's a competition between bragging rights. It's between friends who want nothing more than to prove they know more than the other guy. For me, it's been about how many weeks, Tom? He's flicking me off right now. And who buys the first round of drinks this week, of course. How the game works is each week, my co-host and I will predict the top 5 films at the box office. Whoever gets the closest to the correct order wins the point for the week. I've got 3 weeks in a row. I just want to say that again. The top 5 for last weekend's box office are as follows. We have a new champion as the Disney film Zootopia debuts in the number 1 spot with the monster's $75.1 million. In second place, we have another debut film with the Gerard Butler action sequel London Has Fallen pulling in $21.6 million. Falling to third place, but pulling in an impressive 4th week total of $16.8 million, bringing its domestic total to over $311 million. In 4th place, we see yet another newcomer in the Tina Fey-led Whiskey Tango Foxtrot with $7.4 million, and rounding out the top 5 with another disappointing week was Gods of Egypt with $5.2 million. Tom, tell the people who won last week and give us your picks for next week.
Jimmy won.
That's right. Say it again.
I was winning, people. I was winning. We both did okay. I think we each had London Has Fallen in our third spot.
Third, yeah. We had Deadpool.
So 2. We had those 2 flopped, but we both got Zootopia right. We each had 4 of the top 5 films. You had Kung Fu Panda in the 4th spot. I had Eddie the Eagle, and damn it, that British son of a bitch keeps screwing me every week. It's such a good film. I wish it would have got more support, but it's pretty much dead now. It made $3 million this week. Like I said, I was leading James for most of the weekend, but Kung Fu Panda had a big Sunday night. I ended up losing by about $500,000. So it was disappointing.
Tough loss.
It really was. Like, I needed this week, like, just for my own confidence.
Yeah, it's tough to get three in a row. That just doesn't look good for you.
Yeah. So, but as for who the actual numbers from this week, Zootopia, monster,
crushed it,
$75 million. I didn't think it was going to do that well, but it deserved it because it was a great film. I enjoyed it. Check out my article on the website www.ihbpodcast.com. The racial element to that film was impressive. The message it tried to send, and if you have a young child and you want to teach them about racism in the world, this movie is a great example to take it to. It does a great message and leaves you walking away both entertained and feeling better about the world. But yeah, so that was great. London Has Fallen, solid numbers. For the size of its budget, I think they might be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that it's just over 100 million, so like 105 million. If they do decently, I didn't check their overseas numbers, but they're probably going to make their money back at that number. Deadpool pulling in another 16 million. Impressive in 4 weeks. Over 311 million domestically, not including international box office. That thing made bank. Mm-hmm. I think I read a story that it's already the highest grossing X-Men film of all time.
Wow, that's pretty impressive because there's a lot of X-Men films.
There's, 7?
Yeah.
X-Men, like X-Men 2, X-Men Last Stand, First Class, Days of Future Past, Wolverine 2. Yeah, 7. So now 8. With
Apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh, well, 9 with Apocalypse. Apocalypse might beat it just because it looks good, but I don't know. Deadpool was a monster. Yeah. Good for Tina Fey, coming in 4th. Probably the budget for her film around 36 million, so 7.4. Good number, not great. I'm super curious to see how her numbers go next week because she generally has staying power. She doesn't debut very well, but her movies stick around and don't drop very far off week after week after week. Then, rounding out the top 5, congratulations to Gerard Butler. Has 2 top 5 films in the box office this week, but oh my God, is Gods of Egypt tanking.
Yeah, there's a big drop off.
Yeah, $140 million budget, and to date, domestically, they've made $20 million.
Ouch. That hurts.
Yeah, 66% drop off. What are your thoughts, James?
Just like I played it again. I'm just on fire, killing it. No, this one was a little difficult. I had some looking at my notes from last week. I definitely crossed a few out, and I got lucky again. But that's just how it goes at the box office. You never know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Tom, what are your picks for this week?
For this week, I'm going Zootopia number 1. Made $75 million, even at a 50% drop off. They're talking real solid money at the box office. Number 2, going number 10, Cloverfield Lane. The J.J. Abrams produced reported sequel / continuation of the Cloverfield series. Tons of hype around the movie because everybody's like, what the hell is this thing about? I think it's coming in at number 2. Number 3, I have Deadpool. This is a little bit of my gamble because it's between that and London Has Fallen, who's going to take the 3rd spot. I think London Has Fallen is not going to get quite the return that they want, and it made in 21 million, so you figure 50% drop off, you're looking at 11 million. I think Deadpool can beat that, so fingers crossed. As with that, which makes number 4, London Has Fallen, and number 5, I think Whiskey Tango Foxtrot stays on. I think it'll be probably right around that $6 to $7 million range again. How about you?
This week I've got Zootopia at number 1, of course, and then number 2 I have London Has Fallen. Number 3 I've got 10 Cloverfield Lane. Number 4 Deadpool, and number 5 Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Solid. So our battle is coming down to London Has Fallen, Deadpool, and number 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah. Same movies, just different order.
Mm-hmm. Number 10 Cloverfield Lane, do not screw me. Give me a solid marketing push this week.
Yeah, I think it helps that it's a sequel because I'm sure a lot of people liked the first one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you didn't like it, it was just intriguing enough to where...
Yeah.
Plus, this one doesn't look like it's going to be shaky camera, so thumbs up on that one.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Now is the time for Tough Questions, a segment dedicated to getting answers to life's most interesting quandaries, such as, are we going to make 45 minutes for this episode? The answer is no, so we're not doing Tough Questions this week. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in this week. If you enjoyed the show, please like this episode and subscribe to the I've Had Better Podcast Network. Also, follow us on Twitter at IHB Podcast, and on Facebook, go like the I've Had Better Podcast page. Jim, tell the people how to find you.
On Twitter, I am at @the_Kaiser_Soze. And don't forget to check out our website at www.ihbpodcast.com.
And I am Dominic Demore. You can follow me on Twitter at Dom Demore. That's at DOMDEMORE. Or you can just follow me on Facebook at Dominic Demore. Jim, how was your show this week?
I've had better.
Good night, everybody.